Hello, welcome to the Crackpot Podcast.
It's gonna be a beautiful day to start up a revolution. Molotov cocktails, martini shotgun shells, wild, 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 wild one. God forbid the cops get called. I say the more the merrier inside this free-for-all. By God, I gotta see it fall. I got front row tickets to the greatest show of all.
Good morning, and welcome to episode 64 of the Crackpot Podcast.
Hey, Ryan.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey, we have a special guest today. We have had a lot of special guests, and today is a dear old friend of James's. Can we use your real name?
His name is Wayne. Okay,
Wayne.
I don't want to lose his new job because of this. All right.
All right. Thanks for joining us, Wayne.
All right.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about James and Wayne? You guys can talk about your long enduring friendship. You met in, is it junior high or middle school?
I've never heard Rick explain how we met.
Wayne.
I'm sorry.
I'll bleep it out.
No, we met. Huh. I don't remember the first day. All I remember was hearing that a guy that knew boxing was moving into the neighborhood and was moving into this little gay guy's house, Chris. Remember Chris? That little kid that lived in your house before you lived in there.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, he was like a 60 pound boy. He was
Okay.
not very masculine. Everybody, he was a very non-masculine boy.
I never knew this about the prehistory of my short.
Chris lived in your house.
In a neighborhood.
Then he came to the bus stop and he was a boxer and everybody thought he was a boxer and nobody liked him.
I had to fight the football player.
I had just lost my other best friend, so I was in the market for a new best friend.
Oh.
I think Britt left.
Okay, yeah, that's right. I was the replacement.
Yeah.
Okay, I was unfortunately not as athletic as Britt.
I don't remember the first day.
We met at the bus stop, which was in the driveway of his stepfather's house.
Yeah.
And Rick lived with his mother and stepfather and stepsister down in on the old route, which was the old roads that follow the streams, the creek bottoms, and they wind along through what valleys there are in Pennsylvania. And my family of the aspirational class from a larger city bought one of the ranch houses, these ranch style houses that would go on to these hilltops that would have dead end cul-de-sacs on the back end of the hill. So it was like two different societies of people. There was the people that were kind of the locals that lived on the old roads and usually had more history in the area. And then there was the people that lived on the top of the hill that a lot of them owned businesses in the town, Washington, PA, that was, just like a half mile away. So, I just noticed that I knew that everybody disliked me. And, it seemed like the person they disliked the most next to me was this big redheaded kid. So.
I want to say we have another guest, which is Molly the bird, and she's really cute, and she's talking a little bit. So that's the sound.
No, they're not really there. They're not really there. No.
I heard she tears the computer keys out.
She's on the laptop. Oh dear. I'm looking through tail feathers here. And she's blocking the microphone too.
That she was taken by a cat once. Right?
Yeah, she was taken by a cat.
She was taken by a cat. Oh dear.
She's been banged against the window. I didn't tell you. Oh yeah.
Yeah. She got somebody and got, I think, DDT'd against the sliding glass window.
Oh. Well, she's looking good. She has an orange head or yellowish orange head and a green body. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Go. You're done. You're loud.
Okay, so I've already screwed. I've known this guy for so long, I can't call him by his 10-minute-old name.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Well.
So he's Rick Wayne. Okay.
We don't have a huge. The feds that are watching our accounts are so far haven't bothered us. So I'm only half joking.
I'm trying to entertain them.
Wanted to talk about feds because of all the weird things.
It's like having another kid.
Yeah, that's what I need.
That walks around with the razor blade and pliers.
Right. And poops on the rug. Around here, not far, in a park, there are parrots that live. They're cherry-headed conures, and they live wild out there. So we go see them sometimes.
Those are nice birds. Those are good birds to own.
Are they? I think they're bigger than her, right?
A little bit smaller, actually. I mean, they might have longer tails.
Okay. They live outdoors, and they seem to do fine in the climate. They've lived out there for years and years. But
hey, for a while, you and Rick Wayne lived in the same state.
You were out here in California? What part?
Oh, you're in California?
I am in California. I'm in the Silicon Valley area.
Oh.
Where were you?
I was in Humboldt and
that's
Hemet.
Nice. Okay.
Hemet is down by Idlewild.
Okay.
Moretta. I don't know what else is in Hemet.
Is Hemet like Central Valley? Or is it, because Humboldt is up in the woods, right?
Right, it's way south. Yeah, I was trying to somewhere. It's by that casino, Morano Casino.
Oh, I don't know the casinos.
The Pachanka Casino or whatever that is.
I don't know the casinos. I'm sorry. I don't.
I hear the bird.
You can hear the bird.
Rick worked in casinos. Rick no longer works in casinos. Okay?
Oh, well, tell us.
Casinos for most of his life.
What kind of work did you do in casinos?
Oh, I'm a dealer, blackjack and dice.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
And James told me you lived in Vegas for a long time.
Yeah, 15 years, something like that. Maybe, yeah, about 15 years. No, longer than that.
How did you like it? I've been there a few times as a tourist, and
I like Vegas. There's a lot to do. I'm probably going to go back out west. I'm just not an East Coast person anymore. I don't like it. I don't like the rain all the time. And the rain burns bugs.
Oh yeah.
I would rather deal with heat than humidity. I don't care for the humidity. I like looking at the trees, but I don't think it's worth it.
Well, didn't Vegas has like a plague of locusts, or is that over right now? By now?
I think that might be over, and that only happens like every 10 or. When I first got there in like '98, it was just like that. It was like snow, I was standing in a parking lot of a mall, and it was like 3 inches deep, like snow.
Yikes.
They were everywhere. And it was just crazy. It was like they were everywhere. And then I was there for like 18 years. It never happened again. And then I left. All of a sudden, it's snowing locusts again. It happens. It's just, it's just like global warming. It swings. It happens.
Right.
It happens in cycles. So, sometimes there's locusts, sometimes there's not. Sometimes there's ice, sometimes there's not.
Yeah, it snowed this year as well. Actual snowstorm this winter there as well. And we had a lot of snow here in the Bay Area. We had 3 or 4 snowfalls on the peaks around the Bay Area. So it was a strange year. So I wondered if all the rain somehow brought the bugs out for the year or something like that, but I don't know. Yeah.
Just like all of these bugs are going to bring the spiders out.
Yeah, that's right.
So then the spiders follow. It's just like what the seven things of the plague. What was that Moses brought?
Yeah, the plagues of Egypt.
Right. One brought the bugs, and then the bugs brought the frogs, and then the frogs brought the blood, and then the blood. So everything brings something. So, it's like the plagues. I like it out there. I miss the West Coast. I can't get back there fast enough.
It's still here.
Yeah, I know. But trust me, your worst day on the West Coast is better than your best day here.
Really? That bad?
Or it's about the same.
Yeah. See,
the thing is it's so shitty here that when you get a nice day, it's like the greatest thing in the world. It's being on the West Coast is like having cake all the time.
Yeah, you're probably
being
right.
On the East Coast, it's like somebody giving you a cupcake once a month, and you think that cupcake is the greatest thing in the world. All it is a sunny day off.
Years ago, it was 2012. I had a weird chance to go to Manchester, England for a few days, and I was walking around one day looking for something to eat, and it was so strange. There was people everywhere. It was a weekday, and there were people everywhere, and I found a restaurant, and I asked the waitress, what's going on? How come there's so many people out, and everybody is acting weird? And she goes, well, this is a really beautiful day for us. And it was probably 70 degrees, and it was in July, and the skies were clear, and basically the whole town was acting like it was a celebration.
Yeah, it's that way here.
Yeah, that's
you
normal.
Can go a whole month of work, and you can bust your ass for a month, and every 2 days off you have it's regular.
Oh, yeah, that's hard.
And then when you have something to do and you're working on your car, you're out doing the grass or something like that, you get attacked by mosquitoes. Fuck. I'm done. I'm not doing it.
Rain kept me alive down in Baltimore.
Because it kept your enemies.
Baltimore, I would have got killed by hood rats a long while ago.
On the West Coast, you just ask somebody for water because they're all carrying bottles of water.
That's true. I have to carry them for extra ones for my kids.
Yeah, everybody's got water. No, but England, yeah. So did you see the people's teeth in England? They're all fucked up. They're all gray.
I wasn't looking very closely at their teeth, but I remember walking
through.
They
don't take care of their teeth anymore.
No, they don't.
Brush them.
But there was a guy had been sleeping on these stone steps, and his t-shirt was wrapped around his head, and I was going out for lunch, 11:45, and he was kind of stumbling up and getting out. His friend was getting him, you need to get off these steps and go somewhere else, I guess. So they're good at drinking and
making suits.
Yeah.
About it. Ties and shirts.
Yeah. You'll end up back on the West Coast.
Probably in the casino.
Yeah, I mean, the weather is good. And I try to tell people that too, because everybody loves to hate about California, but I mean, the weather is good and the scenery is nice. There's nice stuff here worth preserving.
Yeah, it's a nice place it's really nice if you're there and you're looking around and you're there. It's beautiful. I think I was only in the Bay Area once or twice maybe. I was always, either real south or real north.
So what took you west in the first place when you were leaving Pennsylvania?
Oh, the casinos. I was in Atlantic City and, wanted to go to Vegas. I think I'd come home for some reason and it wasn't working out. So, the family was just like, well, it's not working out. You want to go to Las Vegas? And I was like, sure. So, I went there. I should have went there a long time. I should have went there before. It's nice. I like it there. It's just an easy place to live. It's an easy place to live. Everything you need is every 10 miles.
When we were 18 in the Pittsburgh area, if your parents didn't own a business, you weren't going to have any way of making money. The coal mines had automated and the steel mills and other factories had closed down. Now it's a tech center. So we pretty much all migrated away. A lot of the guys went into the military. I just moved to Baltimore because that's where I knew people, other than this area.
We didn't stay.
Okay, well, tell me about Atlantic City. Was that during the Trump era of Atlantic City?
Oh yeah, that was. Yeah. Well, here comes Molly. She's got a new one.
She's got another. Did you give her as much candy as she wants?
No, but I really can't control. It's like, it's like your little one. I got a little one.
Yeah, but I don't give them candy all day.
No, but I can't really control it right now.
All right. She's eating candy. Look. Does she crunch it and eat it in crumbles, or how does she do it?
And the little crumbles end up on your shoulder and they stick on your neck. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm candy dish now.
Yeah. Yeah, Atlantic was nice. Trump was nice. Well, he's just like he is now. He was just like that then. When was that?
So you met him?
Yes.
So when did you meet him? Or what?
It was like a job performance thing. God, what year was that? It would have been the year that Holyfield got his ear, right around where Holyfield got his ear fit. What year was that? You're a fighter.
Oh, hell. It was around 94? Something like that.
94? Is that when Tyson was going in, killing people in the
Not
Navy?
even.
Hold on, I'm looking it up.
It was after Tyson was in jail.
97? I think it was in 97.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Tells me the internet.
He would go in, 20 seconds later, fight's over.
Yeah, well, that was the 80s. Then he got framed for rape. And he was in prison
so
for 3
it was
years.
probably in the 80s, the late 80s and 90s. White guy, the white fighter, the last white fighter we had, now he has HIV.
Tommy Morrison.
I was there when Tommy Morrison fought. So that would have been like
80s. He was big in the 80s.
80s, right. Okay. Yeah. But no, I should say Mr. Trump. But no, he was the same then as he is now. His wife, nobody liked his wife, Ivana.
It was Ivana at that time?
Yeah, Ivana at the time, and nobody liked her. Nobody.
Why?
Liked her. And then he was dating, Marla Mavis. We all knew that. He had just, bought the Hilton off of Baron von Hilton and changed it to Trump Castle. And Trump Castle had a helipad on top where he could fly Marla in and out. So the people at Trump Castle always knew when Marla was coming. They had some kind of a code. But as far as Ivana, you never wanted to meet Ivana. She wasn't that pretty. Nobody understood why they were together.
Aww.
But yeah, but he did have a relationship with Marla that we all knew about and didn't blame him for it anyway. But he was the same then. He would meet you. He would want to. He would find out ahead of time if you were if your attendance was good and if you were clean, if you were neat, and he would usually have your replacement standing behind you.
Whoa.
So he would turn around and he would say, "Lynn, you look really nice today, and you'd say, thank you, Mr. Trump, and basically. And, you'd say, I see you like working here. I see your attendance is good, blah, 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 blah. But we have this little situation, and we know that you like to work here. We want you to stay working here. But we got to take care of this. And if it's not resolved, Jim, the person standing behind your right hand, right behind your right hand shoulder, he's going to take your place. And you would be like, oh, okay.
And he would take care of the HR. He would like hire and fire people. And
sometimes, yeah. I mean, he wasn't always there. He flew in and flew out.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He wasn't always there. He was, I don't know, somewhere else building Trump Taj Mahal or something. But it was always the same. It was thank you for being here. You're very nice. You're very neat. We want you to work here. Your replacement is standing behind you. You know, please continue to do well. Have a nice day. Next.
Interesting.
Yeah. And, it was fine. I mean, you know, I liked working for him. Other people have opinions about him, but, you know, business sucks. I mean, you know, any part of any business can suck. So.
What do you think about people that just think of Trump as an idiot? I know a lot of people that just think Donald Trump is stupid.
I don't know. I don't know. He's pretty good at whatever he's doing. I don't know how smart or how stupid he is. I like the guy. It's like a lot of rich people. If they don't like you, it sucks. If you don't like them, it sucks. But if you get along with a wealthy person, they're very kind. You know, they usually don't have anybody that they can trust. If they think they can trust you, they're usually pretty kind. Piss off a rich person, you got it. Now all of a sudden you're in a pissing battle. You know, you really want to piss this guy off. Let's say this guy is a wealthy lawyer. You really want to piss this guy off in town? You know, do you want to wage these wars? So when you go up against somebody like Mr. Trump has $1 billion, 13 billion, like I was telling Jim yesterday, I don't care if he only has $100,000. He can get on a 747 and fly away. You and I have to get in a Honda. Okay. So whether he has $1 billion, $2 billion, 13 billion, it doesn't matter. Okay. He owns a 747. You and I don't own a 747.
And we don't have a helicopter to fly our girlfriend.
We can't even pay for the gas for a 747. Okay, so this guy's poor. Let's just say he's poor. He's going to get on a 747 and go wherever he wants. How poor is he? I mean, I don't know too many billionaires that even have a 747. So he has to have more than $1 billion. Now you pissed this guy off. What do you think he's going to do if he's pissed? You've met him. You decide you don't like him. You're a fucking asshole. Now, what do you think a guy with $5 billion is going to do to you if you call him an asshole? So, what would you do? I mean, if somebody insulted your family and you're so rich that you don't even have a car, you've never even driven, you have a helicopter and a 747. Somebody has now just insulted you're going to use every power you and your husband, to nail this guy.
Well, one of the things they say about President Trump is that he does hold grudges and exact revenge over long periods. Did you see anything like that?
If you had $10 billion and somebody pissed you off and they treated your daughter like crap, okay, you would nail him to the wall. You would hold a grudge too. You would say, look, this school sucks and this school director is no good. If you had the power and the money to say what you wanted and get away with it, you would turn around and say, you know what? This school director sucks. This principal should be fired. If you could, wouldn't you say it?
I might, yeah. I don't know.
Right. There you go.
But there's people that hold grudges, more fervently and plan long.
They're rich. They're bored. You can go anywhere. You can do anything. You can go to Nice for lunch. And then when you're done having lunch at Nice, if you can get to California fast enough, you can have dinner in San Francisco.
Yeah.
That's the level they're thinking on.
It's
Okay,
wild.
so the grudge, they got nothing to do. No, hey, Lynn doesn't like me. Jim, we both have $10 billion. Let's pick on Lynn. Lynn thinks that we're working. We're going to bury her. I mean, they got nothing to do. You think he's actually building something? You think Jared's actually building something?
Oh.
No, he's telling 15 other people to go tell 15 other people to go build something.
Yeah.
And then he's going to turn around and say, did you see what that jerk Lynn did? Let's bury Lynn.
No, that's
They
good.
got nothing else to do. I mean, think about it. If you could go anywhere and do anything, after a while, you got nothing to do. And all of a sudden, somebody says something you don't like. You're like, you know what, Jared? Let's put some protesters outside of Lynn's business. These people are bored. Look at this little pedophile guy, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
He's bored. He goes out and gets 14-year-old girls. He's got more money than he knows what to do with. So what does he do? He plays with girls. You got money and time. What do? Some people pick on people.
Yeah.
Some people go play with little girls. Some people buy Ferraris.
Oh, here's something you brought to me yesterday about some other guy, Schiff.
Oh,
and the
yeah.
word, and Trump's tweet, Liddle. Can you
Yeah.
explain that?
Oh yeah, I heard from another source that people don't think Mr. Trump's really that smart. But what he's been doing is he tweets code, and I haven't verified this yet, but supposedly Adam Schiff has a foundation where he it's therapy for little boys, where they touch each other, they pet each other when they're feeling bad. And now I haven't verified this yet, okay? But I knew the name. It's called Little Kids or something like that. And you can maybe look it up, do the research. I haven't done the due diligence yet, but supposedly you touch the kids like this, it makes them feel better, and it's called Little Kids, Liddle. And Trump tweeted that. Liddle to Adam as a code.
Oh.
Little Adam or something?
Yeah, he calls him Little Adam Schiff. But the little is an indication that he knows about his foundation, and he better back off.
Interesting. Tweeting is definitely what Trump is best at. I have to say, of all of his endeavors, he really is really good at Twitter.
Did you ever want to know what was on your president's mind? You do now.
Yeah, the thing with Baltimore, he got the Democratic Party to actually claim Baltimore as their city and defend it. It's like getting the enemy to decide that some muddy swamp is their fortress, and they're going to go there and try to make it trench. It's great.
It's really bizarre because the whole Baltimore thing where, everybody now has to jump up and say, oh no, Baltimore is fantastic. Or if it's not, well, it must be someone else's fault. Or, well, maybe they have gotten millions of aid or billions in federal aid, but it still kind of sucks. But you should still do, it's still your fault, even though you've given the aid. So it all gets mixed up. It's pretty entertaining.
Yeah, it is. But, basically.
Oh, he's in Pennsylvania right now. Just landed in Pennsylvania. Looking forward to making a speech on energy. So important.
Yeah.
He's somewhere there.
Yeah, it should be pretty good. It's I don't know. I didn't know he was coming here. It should be a pretty good speech. I don't know. I think it's still divided. Young people don't vote. They're emotional people. He's going to get reelected again.
I think so too. I mean, anything can happen.
And honestly, I'd be the first person to be Lynn. This person over here, this spoon, is really awesome. I don't care if the spoon's Democrat. I don't care if the spoon's a Republican. I don't care. Okay? As long as the spoon's cool. Right? I mean, I voted for a cool spoon once. Its name was Obama. That didn't work out. Okay? But I didn't hate the guy. I voted for him twice because I really thought a black man was really going to do something. Now, whether he did something, you can blame it on him or maybe the white old man behind him that people say that won't let him do anything, whatever. Okay, but the man never really pushed hard for anything except the $14 billion he had to give to Iran. But other than that, he never really pushed for anything. He never really fought for anything. If I was black and I thought a bunch of old white men were stopping me, I'd do exactly what Donald Trump was doing. I'd expose him. I'd say, look, this guy with the beard is stopping me from doing what I need to do. He's white, I'm black, help me out. Now, when Obama first was president, he could have had anything done. He walked on water.
Yeah.
The media loved him. He could have done anything. He could have built a bridge from San Francisco to New York. We would have all been behind him. We would have all been employed, okay, and everybody would have loved this man. He did nothing. Nothing.
He did his job.
Okay. Now, he could have went in just like Trump and said, look, Adam Schiff sucks. This guy in the CIA sucks. This guy sucks. This guy, this girl, this guy. But he didn't do it. He turned around and said, I'm a poor black man with a poor black wife, and I'm just going to turn around and just going to ride this money train. And what did he do? He signed a Netflix deal. He bought the Magnum PI estate, not him, but through his friend. He bought the Magnum PI estate for $7 million. Barry had no money, like a lot of these people.
Yeah.
A lot of them, like the guy who runs Baltimore, like the old lady Pelosi. They didn't have money. Barbara Feinstein.
Feinstein's absolutely the worst.
Her husband didn't have until she had a Chinese chauffeur, and then they started doing Chinese investments, which nobody is talking about. The whole Feinstein with the Chinese chauffeur is compromised information. Nobody's looking into that. She should be gone too. Nobody's going to get rid of Feinstein. Barbara Boxer is rumored to have sexually harassed her staff, male staff. Nobody talks about that. Okay. On another source of information, he used to ride in Barbara Boxer's car, and nobody wanted to ride in Barbara Boxer's car because nobody wanted to be hit on by Barbara Boxer. Nobody talks about that. Okay. But it's okay. It's okay when a male gets sexually harassed. Okay. When a male is uncomfortable, that's okay. All right. But you can't make Barbara Boxer or anybody else, a female around her, feel uncomfortable. You'll lose your job.
It's true. It's a double standard.
She must be a rough-looking bitch. I don't know who she is.
Well, Dianne Feinstein and her husband, Richard Bloom, I think is his name, they are the absolute champions of selling out for their own gain in terms of using the government position to enrich themselves. If someone out there has done better in America, I don't know who it is. Yeah, they have billions. They have billions because of the contracts that. And
Pelosi used her position to get into wine, and she lives in a $7 million house, and she's got a fence around her house.
Yeah, she's got a Napa estate. Yeah.
Yeah, and she's drunk most of the time.
Yeah, she is.
I mean, come on, I can see it. And you know what? And I'll tell you what. That's one more point for Mr. Trump. The man does not drink.
Yeah.
That in itself is a huge advantage over almost everybody that's in political power, because everybody in politics drinks.
What did you see about drinking working in the casinos? You know, what were your observations as far as you saw a bunch of different people, even celebrities, as you were working in casinos in Vegas? I mean, did you notice any patterns as far as alcohol use went? So you get free booze when you're there, don't you?
Yeah, yeah, you get free drink. I don't think the celebrities they didn't really drink in front of us. You know, they just drank like everybody else. But I didn't really notice anybody really drinking. You know, being drunk. At least I don't think so right now.
What kind of people would be drunk at the craps tables and blackjack tables?
Oh, just normal people who are just drinking it normal way.
Okay. Now so how about celebrities? So what type of celebrities did you deal with at the tables? I remember you telling me about the Gracie guy.
Yeah.
What was he like? Helio Gracie, the guy that ran the Klan. I remember you telling me something.
Yeah, nobody liked them. But there were so many of them, we couldn't tell them apart.
So there was a lot of Gracies at the tables?
Yeah, there were some. Yeah. They would claim to be Gracies. You can't.
Okay, what about boxers? I thought you said that Evander Holyfield, you ran into him before and he was always playing on a Rubik's Cube or video game or something?
Did I say that? I don't remember that. I tell you, who I ran into, and you may or may not know him, and I didn't tell you about it. Rashad
Rashad Evans?
No. Boxer. Big guy.
Hasim Rahman.
Right. Yeah, I know him.
Okay, so what's he like?
Really nice. He's fucking huge. He's really, really a nice guy. He's large. He's like 6'5".
Yeah, people don't understand how big those heavyweight boxers are. Like when they're not in competition weight.
Yeah.
Because even though they don't have to make weight, if they're over 240 when they fight, they move too slow. So a lot of these dudes are like 300-pound guys that strip down to like 240 to fight.
Big man. Okay. Big man. Really nice.
You ever meet Mike Tyson?
No.
You ever see him?
No. Never met Tyson. Randy Couture, I met Randy Couture. He's a nice guy. I think he met his wife where I work. He's seen her where I work.
What other fighters?
That's about it. And I just used to go to the local fight. They have a local in Vegas. They have a local fight night. I can't remember what it's called. It's at the.
It's like backroom fights. You were trying to talk me into being a referee out there for a while.
Yeah, it's at the Gold Coast or something on Friday nights. It's fight night, some kind of a fight night. I don't think I met a lot of the fighters. I used to just see them walk by, but no, I never met.
Have you ever met any other type of celebrities that weren't fighters?
Oh yeah. Robin Williams was a nice guy, very nice guy. Who did the Run thing? The movie Run.
Running Man?
No. They tell the little character to run faster. Candy in a box. Chocolates in a box are good. What's that? Forrest Gump.
Oh, okay.
The guy who did Forrest Gump. What's his name?
Oh, he's like the preeminent actor of our time.
I know. Hank, Hanks. Tom Hanks.
Right.
Him and his wife were great.
Okay.
Eddie Murphy was pretty cool. Shaquille O'Neal. Nice guy.
So you hadn't really, it doesn't sound like, when the celebrities show
Bobby Flay was an asshole.
Oh, okay. Well, who's he? I don't know.
He's as a cook. He's a cook for a TV show.
Okay.
He's not a nice guy at the dice tables. So I don't know what he's like in real life. He's kind of a prick.
Do people have their own personality at the tables that is maybe different from their real life personality?
Yeah, probably. I don't see the personality to act away from the table. Henry Winkler was probably the nicest guy in the world. The Fonz was really cool. The guy that started Kinko's Coffee was pretty nice guy. Mr. Kinko was a nice guy.
Did you get many people from other countries coming in to play?
Yeah, but I didn't know who they were. The guy that started the O is not a nice guy. His name's Guy or something. I don't know what his name is, but he's an asshole. Guys
from the Middle East. I mean, I've seen TV show plots where there's always these guys in turbans coming in from the Middle East, like sheiks and stuff, to game on American casinos. Is that just TV bullshit?
Yeah.
Okay. That's kind of what I thought.
Yeah, it is. No, Las Vegas was pretty nice. I've got to go back. But.
Okay. Now, you were working at a warehouse near there?
Yeah.
Okay, why don't you describe that work situation to me, because a lot of our listeners are actually going through this kind of crap with their workplace.
Oh. Hello.
Hey, how's it going, Funky?
The warehouse was hot. That was a year ago.
Hi, babe.
Hey.
Where were you this morning?
I was on the couch. I'm surprised you didn't hear me snoring.
I heard you snoring.
Come around here so you can say hi to Lynn.
Who?
When? Well, we're doing a podcast. It's actually being recorded, right?
Hi, honey. Hi. She can't see me.
Well, you get in the middle. Right over here.
Ouch! Ouch!
Oh, the bird's
Whoa,
attacking.
eh? I walked on.
Candy. I know.
Look how she looks like a dog. Look.
Okay.
Where have you been? They torturing this little girl.
Yeah,
These
she's had
medical-
6 pieces of candy.
These guys torturing you. Did you work that night?
Yeah.
I didn't hear you leave. Nothing. Hi, Lynn. How are you?
Hello, very well. How are you, Punky?
Scrub my floor and it's sticky. Mm-hmm.
I need to do that.
Oh, I can't get through them.
Oh.
I'm too fast.
This is where Bobby Lucapardo is. The Lucapardos are in the Bay Area,
Where are you? Where's she at? Ouch.
California.
Oh, in California.
Yeah.
Hi.
I like your shirt.
Oh, I love him. I love him. My daughter took me to see him when he was here, I think a year and a half ago.
Punky's wearing a Culture
He had
Club
this
t-shirt.
beautiful orange hat that matched his suit, and his suit was like down to his knees. You know how he dresses.
Yeah.
How you been?
Good.
My 2 favorite guys in the whole world.
Aw.
What they when they torture my little girl, huh, honey? You here all day with these guys, huh, baby? Yeah, leave her alone. She starts singing. She's talking, huh? She's
Yeah,
talking?
she's
They were
been
saying
saying hello. Yeah. Saw her eat
Well-
candy.
She really does.
So cute.
This bird?
Yeah.
Oh, I bet she'd love it in California. You want to go out there with her, honey?
Well, I was telling these guys that they actually live outdoors here. There's a colony of wild parrot cherry-headed conures that lives in town here.
They fly in San Francisco. They have a flock up there by that lighthouse.
They do. There's a flock in San Francisco, and there are a number of them down all the way down to at least Cupertino, which is down by the close to the mountains. So
They're conures and they're free?
yeah.
Well, let's take her, Rick. She'd love that. He would die, but she would probably have a good time.
Rick worked for a while in Vegas in a warehouse, and was wondering if he would relate to you this job situation he had.
What kind of warehouse was it?
Like an Amazon warehouse.
Okay, I once toured an Aero warehouse in Reno, Aero Electronics.
Oh, okay.
They distribute every kind of little teeny tiny microchips and everything that goes in a computer. But tell me about the Amazon warehouse.
I've just left California, and I was trying to stay out of the casino business. The temp agencies are real big in Nevada. So the temp agency got me a job with the T-Mobile, which was the hockey rink that they had built. It was real popular, and that didn't work out. Cleaning the arena after hockey games is not good. So then I got a job at a warehouse, an Amazon type warehouse, where all I did was package stuff, wrap stuff up, just wrapping stuff up. The bird, gotcha.
No.
Oh, that's
No.
none of that's the bird.
No.
Oh, okay. So I started working in this warehouse in July, and it was hot. It was very, very hot. It wasn't bad. I was just basically taking things that these girls would put stickers on, and then put them in a box, put them on a pallet, wrap it up, take the pallet to a truck. The girls they're all Mexicans, and all of them are illegal. I don't actually document it. None of them had cars. They didn't work very well, and it seemed like the warehouse was pretty focused on production, but I got into a position where they were using me because I was working hard to basically try to get the other people to work hard. When I started to observe that the reason that most of them weren't working hard, it wasn't received very well. In other words, I made the comment that they needed to fire everybody and hire men. And
I love him.
yeah, but it's the truth.
But it's just,
Well, one of them was a pregnant queen, right?
Yeah, well, one was a black girl and she was pregnant. She wasn't working at all. And she was a supervisor and she sat in the back and she would sleep while we all covered for her. Well, they all. And then, after I made the comment about hiring men, they let me go. But it's funny because the guy that actually turned me in was saying things. He was kind of baiting me. And, he would be like, I can't remember the supervisor's name. I'll just call her Janet, the black pregnant girl. He would be like, look at Janet, she's pregnant. And I'm like, yeah, she's going to be pregnant. She's going to show soon. Yeah, she's going to have a little monkey. And I'm like, ooh, that's a little rough. I mean, I don't like her that much either, but, I wouldn't call it a monkey. So then, then he would like bait me into these Trump Hillary things where he would be like anti-Hillary and pro-Trump, and I'd be like, well, and I'd try to kind of like stay balanced. I never really leaned real hard towards Trump in public because, it's usually not received well. So, I try to let people know that I like him. I'm voting for him again, but I don't try to really like go overboard with this guy. So anyway, I felt like he was baiting me along, and he would agree. He'd be like, oh yeah, Hillary people suck. Trump people are great. Yeah, that black girl over there is lazy. He told me I'd try to fire her, but I'd be in court all day long. You can't fire black people. All they do is wrap your time up in court. If I fire this black girl, all I'm going to do is spend time in court. I can't fire her. You just keep on watching her and let us know when she's not doing her job. So I'd be like, she's not doing her job. and then I confronted her, she confronted me, and I'm like, look, I don't want your job, but they're telling me to look at your station. I like you. You're my boss, one of my bosses. Why don't you clean up your station? So that's kind of how it went. They're like, well, you make the same amount of money as us. We're not going to listen to you. I said, fine, don't listen to me. See what happens. I'm the one that they got rid of. And I think that the problems were so deep in the warehouse, it wasn't really me. I just stood out. The problems were hidden. They're hidden problems. The guy that runs the warehouse is so weak. They laugh at him because he can't buy tampons for his wife, and he thinks that's funny. He runs $1 million warehouse. Okay? All right? And they're all laughing because he's so wealthy and he's so above us that he can't buy tampons for his wife. That's funny because he thinks it's gross. He's a man. Okay? And he owns this company, and they think I'm the problem.
You didn't belong there, honey. That was too long to be talking.
So.
Okay.
Lynn, do you have a job for us that we can come out there and live?
A job?
Yeah, what can we do out there? I'm a cook.
Oh, well.
He's a great cook.
Yeah. I would like to start a food truck. Do you want to start a food truck together?
I wanted to start one here. Yeah.
I'm willing to work together on a food truck.
Yeah, food trucks are big.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what are they selling on them now?
Whatever you're doing.
They got everything in Portland. They got every kind of. There's food truck courts where you might have 20 food trucks.
Yeah, like a festival. Everybody drives their food trucks in, and all the hipsters come out and spend big money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, like, no dinners, right?
They'll meet at lunchtime you can bring the food truck out to the offices, and then at the end of the day you can go to, I don't know, like a church parking lot or something like that, and then everybody comes for dinner.
Where I was in Southeast Portland, they have places that look like they used to be small used car lots that are now rental spaces for people that have food trucks. And some of them are set up as almost like a carnival. the way they're
Yeah,
set
there
up.
could be a band. There could be a jump house for kids.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's up to you what you want your hours to be. But yeah, they're busier at dinner than they are at lunch, at least in the small area that I was in, because they weren't set up outside of somebody's business. Around here, the only place you'd see one would be outside of a business,
Right, exactly.
serving lunch. But out there,
And if they said it's real hard to get a license here in Pittsburgh.
yeah, well, walls in the East tend to be really deep pits of red tape.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no food trucks in Baltimore.
What do you do, honey?
I look after my kids. I used to work in an office. I used to do a job like a finance kind of job.
Oh,
did
like my
that.
daughter.
I did that for 9 years, and now I'm looking after kids. I might do, once they get a little bit older, I might go back and do some more of that. But nowadays, I just I look after my kids, and I work with James. I help him with his books, and we do this little radio show.
I'm going to tell you, I was a nanny for 8 years. That is the hardest job in the world.
Yeah.
I have cook, I have waitress, and I went at 7 o'clock in the morning and stayed till 7, 8 at night with these 2 boys.
Yeah, it's
That's
tough.
a hard job.
It's tough,
That's
yeah. And I homeschool. I homeschool them. We are involved with a small group where my older girl has some classmates, but I do all their, schoolwork together with them at home.
No, you have to. You have to keep them home. You
Yeah.
have to.
Well, this is a variety episode. Actually, my mom also wants to start a food truck, so
I've worked in restaurants since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I was a kid.
Right, so you were part of a family business off of Route 40 in Western Pennsylvania, right?
I just made 2 cases of escarole and turned them into beans and greens. Do you ever hear them?
Sorry, my kids are being really loud. Escarole with what?
Escarole with beans and sausage and garlic.
Oh, that sounds good. Yeah.
I put it on the menu about last fall, and we can't sell enough.
Wow.
It's really in the ass to do every day. So I try to do it all at one time, and I'm so exhausted from that. I mean, I cooked, like 2 cases.
Wow.
And you have to cut it and wash it and wash it and wash it and wash it. Then you have to cook it in hot water. Then you take it out and drain it. Then you have to cook it in garlic and oil.
And I have 2 daughters, and we need to put them to work. They're so bored right now. They're screaming at each other. So they would love to wash escarole. That would be the ideal job for them.
Good. What did you do in finance, honey? My daughter's a commercial lender.
Oh, well, I was a financial statements auditor.
You miss it, honey? You miss it?
No. I don't ever want to go back to work if I don't have to.
Seriously.
I can't say that I do. I worked with a lot of really nice people, really smart people, and still in touch with some of them, but the work itself is not super exciting, and it's very stressful, a lot of deadlines and long hours, and I don't really miss it. I really like publishing books, what I've been doing with James, and I actually published another book from another author recently as well, and I really like that. I don't know if I'll ever make a living doing that, but I like it a lot better.
That's all counts, honey. Be happy with your kids.
Thank
Make
you.
money. You can't buy food for your kids without money.
You certainly can't.
No, I'm really super lucky
have
to be able to
done
stay home. Yeah, I'm very, very lucky, and I'm grateful for that. And my older daughter is going to first grade, and in 2 years, my schedule will open up a little bit, and I'll probably be able to make some money again. So, I will do that. But yes, making money is very good. I'm not against making money, but my old job, there's no way I could do it and look after my kids at all. They would have to be in an 8-hour-a-day daycare, and I just was not willing to do that to them. So
Yeah, I don't blame you, honey.
Yeah.
I really, yeah.
I think my buddy spends about $7,000 or $8,000 a year for 2 kids in daycare. Might even be more than that.
I
I
bet
can't
you more than
remember.
that, right?
in our
My-
area, it's probably
9,000.
more like 2,000 a month, or
Jesus.
1,000 per kid a month easily. So, I mean, if your job pays for that, then financially it could work out. But I just don't want to do it to my kids. Like, we'd have more money if I went back to work full time. We definitely would have more money as a family, but would rather keep my kids here and look after them myself. I just couldn't put them in daycare.
You have 2 little girls, honey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, this could turn into girl talk somehow.
Yeah.
There's something that Rick was coaching me on getting rid of my excess baggage. I need to lose a lot of weight, and he said some of the same things to me that you did. That the food pyramid was like the biggest scam in human history, and I remember being indoctrinated into that. But Rick, could you tell me about the bodybuilder in Atlantic City that you first heard this from?
Oh yeah, John Perillo. He had a product called Cat Try, and it was a coconut oil product. That was in the 80s, and
That's amazing. That's really ahead of the curve. Yeah. Please go
yeah,
on.
well, really, I went online and they still sell the product Cat Try, and basically it's an MCT bar that they're making now, your keto bars. But this was probably in 87, maybe 86. Going into ketosis in the 80s was a weird thing because nobody knew a whole lot about it. Living without carbohydrates is something that people aren't going to let sink in. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. Yep.
It's not in your lifestyle. It doesn't fit the kids. It doesn't fit your kid's lifestyle. It doesn't fit your husband's lifestyle. It doesn't fit anybody's lifestyle. In order to eat the right way, you're alone. You're alone.
Yeah, it's funny because we do this
Because
actually.
everything you say and do is wrong.
I have another mom who's with me on this, which is kind of a miracle. But to me, and because you mentioned coconut oil, the biggest thing to me that's so dangerous in our diets is the commercial oils. Like, it's fat. Fat is not harmful to eat, but soybean oil and canola oil and all these seed oils are really harmful. And that's what I
You
try.
know what canola oil is?
Yeah, it's rapeseed oil. It's
Right. It stands for Canada
Yep.
oil.
Yes.
Have you ever seen a rapeseed plant?
It's like a yellow flower.
Yeah. Most people haven't. I
Yeah.
haven't. So I'm not going to.
It's kind of a knee-high yellow flower, grassy kind of thing. But those are I'm really super strict with my kids on those things. And we're, pretty low sugar kind of a family as well because sugar is harmful. But that's the thing I'm strictest on. So
Yeah. Find and realize that fats go rancid really easy and really fast. And there's different kinds of fats. Like you can go to Target and buy ghee. Do you know what ghee is?
Oh yeah, we have
Okay. And
Indians.
it doesn't need to be refrigerated.
Right. Yep.
Right? But then you can go to Target and buy Land O'Lakes butter, leave it out overnight, and you're fucked. Okay?
Depends on the weather.
Right, and the fat.
Yeah.
And what fat it is.
Yeah.
Okay? Most of the fats that you consume or leave out are rancid. Most of the fats that are in pills, most of the fats that you're buying in the store, if you open them and you leave them open, they go rancid almost immediately.
Yeah. Yep.
So you have to take care of your fats. Your brain is made out of fat. Your eyes are fat. Your skin is all fat. Okay, so find a high quality fat from a good source and then stick with it. And
That's
then
right.
make sure that source is good all the time, because just like Jeffrey Epstein, he was probably cool for the first 20 years. Okay, but you didn't. Shit changes. In other words, you can have a company that makes great oil for 20 years. All of a sudden their kids take over the company. Okay. parents are dead. Now the oil sucks.
You know what
Okay.
I do, Rick? I go to Whole Foods and I get 10 pounds of beef trimmings and I render it down into my own beef tallow.
That's excellent. That's excellent.
What does she do? What do you do with it, honey?
All the cooking we do in the house is I do with that. So if I want to fry potatoes for my kids, or
Okay.
yeah,
What kind of skillets do you use?
I use cast iron.
There you go. You're fine. You're fine.
Boy, you said the right answer.
Yeah, no, I left those Teflon things behind a long time ago. They're awful. Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. No, but that's great. You're doing really good.
She is.
It's so important for kids because, like you say, the brain is made out of fat. All these important body parts are made out of fat, and they're growing. And that brain tissue is going to be the same tissue they use the rest of their lives. So you want good ingredients to go into that brain.
So Lynn, here's something, because we've discussed IQ before, and I come from one of the lowest IQ places in America. Most of my customers, their children ate ramen noodles, Pop-Tarts, and Sunny Delight.
That's exactly right.
Okay, so what would that do to a child's brain development?
So do what?
Never ate.
Nothing good. I mean, that's just sugar and industrial seed oils, and it promotes inflammation all throughout your body. If you think about your tissues, not just your brain, but your body, your bones, and your tendons, everything's growing. You know, you need to put good ingredients in there for your children so they can grow and have strong bodies, and good fuel so they don't get grouchy and sleepy, and, you know, they need... Yeah.
You got it. You're on the right page.
No hexametaphosphate. That's my favorite food out of that. Sunny Delight.
And Sunny Delight.
I gotta tell you, I'm 75 years old and I never bought any of that for my kids. Ever.
Me neither.
None of it.
No.
This we call those value-added products.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
So what a
That
toxic...
paid James's paycheck.
Yeah, as soon as you can replace orange juice with soybean oil, hexametaphosphate, and corn syrup, that's value added. Anytime you can take something that's just some stripped down commodity that's got no nutritional value other than calories and replace real food with it, it's called value added. That's the actual term.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to push this stuff because the manufacturers and the distributors get the largest margin on that.
My kids used to get mad they ate so healthy.
I sold a lot of Sunny Delight. I was proud of that. I used to sell a pound a day. I sold the twin pack gallon, and you know what? It was just as expensive as the co-op OJ from Florida.
Right.
The Florida's best orange juice.
The premium stuff, yeah.
They got people hooked on the chemicals or whatever was in there. I'm guessing the hexametaphosphate and the refractionated vegetable oil that was in the Tampico off-brand. Then they're willing to pay more for it than the real orange juice.
Yeah, because they're used to that exact flavor, where orange juice, some days it could taste a little bit different, or, you know, pulp or no pulp or whatever, but if it's Sunny Delight, it's exactly the same every time.
I guess I was partially responsible for depressing the IQ of people.
There's deeper drivers to the IQ problem you guys have in
I
Baltimore.
think Ricky must have been about 12 or 13 and Laura like 8 when I joined a co-op. Did you ever join a co-op?
Oh, for groceries? I haven't done that.
Oh, that's where I met some of my dearest friends. Everything was all, you know, from farmers and fresh. We used to meet once a week. You know what I mean? It was really nice.
I do. Yeah, they have these where you get a crate every week and you don't... Yeah. You don't really get to pick what goes in it. They kind of pick it for you. Whatever's fresh. Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah, it is different. Yeah, that's how I met Sandy, one of my dearest friends. It's a co-op. We used to help pack everybody's stuff up because they were like, you know, working or something. Yeah. You never complained though. Laura did. How about the time I made fresh pumpkin pie out of fresh pumpkin?
You guys remember that?
Oh my God, you hated it.
It didn't go over well?
Oh my God, no. My kids almost flipped because it wasn't, well, I just used fresh pumpkin. Like, I didn't use Libby's.
Oh.
And they said it was the worst pie they ever had in their life.
Have you ever tried to make a sweet potato pie?
I love sweet potato pie.
Yeah, that's better than pumpkin, I think.
It is.
Yeah.
It really.
I don't know the cuisine of your part of the country very well. I know you guys have something. Do you guys have scrapple?
No.
No?
That's a Maryland thing. Scrapple
Is it
is
really?
a big Maryland. It's pig face. It's all the scraps. It's the same thing that you'd have in head cheese in the deli or South.
I like that kind of stuff.
And there's a certain amount of liver added to it, and it's chopped up real fine, and people fry it or deep fry it. And
You ever have it?
It's something that people in Maryland really like. I haven't run into anybody in Pennsylvania eating it west of the divide. The only people in Maryland that eat it or Pennsylvania that eat it are people that came up from Maryland in the Lancaster area.
We're spaghetti and meatballs here and chicken.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's good for me too. I spent many days with my grandmother making homemade spaghetti.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I cooked like 20 pounds today.
wow.
Out. Yep. 150 meatballs. Oh my God, I'm so tired.
So you've already had your work day then.
Yes, I have, honey. Yes, I have.
Well, thanks. I'm glad we caught you because I wasn't expecting to have you join us, and James has told me about you. So
Yeah, I talked about Punky on a podcast a long time ago.
He was my darling.
oh.
Is I the good son?
Yes, you were.
Is that
Always
right?
told on Rick. I remember Rick going, Jimmy, you're my friend. My mother's stuff.
Punky, so do you have one son and one daughter?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wish
Plus
I had.
James.
Wish I would have had 10 more.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. Too
Well, I
late.
just came from a gym that's attached to a house where the family have 4 children. Yeah, so I've already thanked the wife of that fighter on behalf of my dying race for really doing more than her part, bringing 4 children into the world.
Yeah, it's great.
And they're homeschooled.
It's hard work.
Yes, it is.
I only have 2, but I can tell you it's tough.
I'm training them to be pirates. I got them all pirate bandanas, and we're working on anti-parental countermeasures. I secretly advise the children.
Come on, James. These are like the best parents you know. Why would you start an insurrection there? Get out of that boomer mindset.
Yeah, I'm
the
like
rebellion.
Soros for toddlers who are oppressed by their parents.
There's no oppression in that household. If anything, it's the parents who are oppressed. Okay, I want to ask Rick what other places you've lived in. We've talked about California, Humboldt, Vegas. You're in Pennsylvania. Have you lived in Atlantic City?
Oh, yeah, Atlantic City. Yeah. I think that's about it.
That's when you first left me. Yeah.
What did you like? You did a lot of climbing in Nevada, right?
Oh, yeah. I did. Yeah, I did climb a lot in Nevada. When you leave here, you look for things to do, and that's the hobby I got into in Nevada.
You went to Avalanche School in Utah.
Yeah, I went to Avalanche School in Utah. I didn't live in Utah.
What's Avalanche School?
How to survive, isn't it?
I've actually seen the mountain he did this on. I've gone by it a few times with Bob.
Yeah.
Go on.
That was at Alta. In Alta, there was an avalanche class in Utah that we took. It was great. It was you learn about how to prevent you learn how to predict avalanches, surviving avalanches.
Are you a skier also?
I
Or
don't.
it's for climbing?
Yeah, it was just for hiking in the mountains. There's a set of mountains in called Mount Charleston in Nevada, and it's only about 45 minutes from Las Vegas, and it snows up there. And I tried to learn to ski a couple of times. I'm not a skier; it didn't come natural. But snowshoes, you can still hike in the snow with snowshoes, and that's what I did. And my friends and I we were in the snow a lot. And, it's something we all did. We all got beacons and we learned how to use the beacon. I went to Avalanche school. A lot of them didn't. But when I got back, we all knew how to use the beacons. We all practiced using the beacons.
There's a lot of pretty country around Vegas, and I went to Red Rock once.
Right. That's what we
And so I was sitting in the car with my friend and her mom, and she there were these burros on the side of the road saying hello to people, and so in the car in front of us, the woman in the passenger seat rolled her window down, and this thing stuck its whole head inside their car.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
Yeah. You know what's interesting about those is at night, if you can hear them at night, they're usually around water.
Oh, so you can find some water source that way?
Yeah. So if you're in a bad situation, you wait long enough, around 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, they might make some noise. You wait for them to make noises.
What about chipmunks? Tell us about the chipmunks with climbing.
Oh yeah, they eat into your backpack. They smell your Cliff Bars and they eat through your backpack to get the candy.
Well, that's not good when you're camping. I had friends who had a black bear eat every single crumb of food, and then they watched the bear eat everything in the Sierras, and then just left them with no food. They had to go home.
Yeah, in Northern California, if you use molasses to grow up there, the bears will come in on your land. And if you fish bone, if you fertilize with fish bone, that'll attract blood meal, fish meal, molasses.
So they try to get it out of the soil?
No, they'll take it right out of your bucket. You buy it by the buckets. 5-gallon buckets of molasses.
Yum, yum.
$5.
Or rotted fish. Yeah.
Bone meal, blood meal. It's all pretty cheap.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk about that line of work?
What's that? Growing up there?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's all it was, is just taking care of land and growing up there. Yeah. You live out there. Basically, people up there hire people like me to work their land, and then you give them 50% of whatever you produce. That's
Is that before
it
was, now it's recreation legal in California, and
yeah, but
growing is
California's
tricky.
screwed up. You know that. Every county has a different set of laws.
Yeah, that's right. It's very
California
complicated.
is not a good model. And it's only because it's so political.
It's big money because, some counties don't want commercial growing anywhere near, and some counties just want you to pay big bucks for a permit and, stuff
Right.
like that. So.
And it's not consistent.
No, not
So
at all.
California, whereas Colorado or somebody else, it's across the board. The rules are across the board, and everybody wants to listen. It's not like that in California. The rules aren't across the board, and just like in every county in California thinks there's something special, and every county in California is almost like an independent state. They can't get together. They can't make this. You're legal in one county, you're not legal in another, and then you're legal again, and then you're not, because the council board in one county doesn't get enough money for her kid to go to a private school, but the other council board in another county, they think it's okay, blah, blah. California is messed up. Messed up. The only thing that's nice about California is looking at the hills when you're driving around.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Okay, now
Every third day in Hemet is a Spanish holiday. It's a Mexican. Yeah. You think you're going to the bank on Tuesday, okay, and you can't go to the fucking bank on Tuesday because some Mexican did something for the hay farmers, and now all the banks in Hemet are closed on Tuesday because the hay farmers are happy. All right, whatever. So then you go to try to go to the bank on Friday, and it's Jose Fernando's birthday. So the banks are closed on Friday because Jose has a birthday. 2 weeks later, you think you're going to the bank again, It's just, and it's an endless.
See, I'm in favor of bank holidays. I think everybody should stay home more often. Don't do
Well,
any work.
it's not only the banks, but it's all the special things. You try to get something done, and you can't get things done. It'd be different if there was a way of saying, "Hey, white people, the Mexicans have 3 holidays this month. You're screwed." Okay? So you're a white American. You can't go to the bank on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. I mean, it'd be good, but they don't communicate with you. They just shut your TV off in the middle of the day, or they won't tell you that one cable company Verizon has now bought Vios. And now you have to call, and this is California, you have to call now Vios or Verizon with your Vios information so that you can get your cable turned back on. You call Verizon and you say, "Hey, my name is Rick, blah, 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 and I would like my cable turned on." "Well, Mr. Sensky, did you have an account with Vios?" "Yes, I did. But now you're Verizon, and you didn't tell me you were going to switch ownership. Can I have my cable turned back on?" I don't know about Silicon Valley. It's probably really nice where you're at, but in Hemet, where they're all hay farmers, okay, they just shut shit off, or they just a company will buy another company, Vios will buy Verizon, and they won't let. Or here's another thing too. Hemet is all poor. It's a poor place, okay? Why would you shut the electricity off at 1 o'clock in the afternoon when 90% of your population is over 70? Why would you just shut the electricity off in July at 2 o'clock? Go ahead and ask that question.
Yeah, and that's the Central Valley, which people might not know. It's super duper hot there.
The electrician will tell you, "Oh yeah, people get sick all the time. They die."
Yeah. Well, and this is something about Vegas too. And we even talked with Mr. Gray a couple weeks ago about Phoenix. I mean, these places, the Central Valley of California, it's very, very hot. And if something goes wrong, the old people will die like flies. I mean, a day or two without air conditioning, you and me, we're fine. We can manage. But these places get over 100 for days at a time. You can't live like that.
They don't seem to worry about it in Southern California, at least in the poor places.
Yeah.
And they say, "Oh yeah, people in trailers are dying. We can't do anything about it." But yeah, you can. You can turn the electricity off from 8 in the morning to 11 in the afternoon.
Right.
Get your work done, or you can put some kind of put billboards up to let the old people know, or something. It's something. But anyway, the point is, in California, they don't care. Look, the shit's getting shut off. Okay? We're not dealing with it. As far as like Nevada and Pennsylvania, they'd never do that here.
Right.
They would never just shut the power off. And then the electricity guy comes and like, "Oh yeah, your whole half of the street is shut off. We're working on it all day." Well, why didn't you tell me about it? I got a 75-year-old mother or a 90-year-old mother, or I got grandparents in this house. You're not helping me out.
Yeah.
California is weird.
California is really a third world country, so we have a layer of really wealthy people. In Southern California, it could be like entertainment people, and up here it's tech people. But I really probably belong in that layer. Like, we don't really suffer. We're not anywhere near as rich as most of these tech people, but we don't suffer poverty. But then there's a huge just population of poor, permanently poor people, and it's largely Mexicans and other Central Americans and others too. But we're in kind of like this little teeny tiny layer of middle income-ish type people that sort of think we belong to the top layer, but we really don't. But yeah, it's a third world country structure. You have the people on top and everybody else.
We're getting back to the Middle Ages, where the smallest group of people were actually the middle class, and then the mid-sized group of people were the nobility.
Right.
So 1% and 2%, and then 98% is poor.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Now,
California's pretty to look at, though.
Right.
I like it.
Yeah, if you don't mind talking about it, and maybe you won't, we don't have to. You worked on growing in another state, and you were legal, right? I mean, you had a license and everything.
Oh yeah,
the municipality that you were in, but apparently it doesn't matter to the feds if you're like locally legal.
Right. No, it doesn't. It didn't matter at all then. They can use the laws to round you up if they want. And I don't know how I don't know how the attention was brought to me, but it's a gerbil wheel of money. It keeps the police, actually overly busy because, ever since they've been, putting people in jail for marijuana, the violent crime and the assaults and everything,
it's just gone through the roof.
Not only gone through the roof, but there's unsolved crimes out there due to the fact that they spend so much time on incarcerating marijuana people because it stays in your blood. And here's the thing too, because it stays in your blood for 90 days. And this is kind of a prejudiced remark, but let's say you're black and you live in a black culture and all your friends are black anyway. You're black, you live in a black culture. There's more marijuana in the black culture than there is in the white. At least I'm going to make that statement. It may or may not be true, but
it's true in Baltimore.
Okay. I'm just going to make the statement. And what does a marijuana smoker do after he spends 5 days or a month or 3 months in jail? What's he going to do? He's going to smoke a joint. Okay. So he's back in the gerbil wheel testing positive so he can go back to jail. So robberies, rapes, I think, it goes back like 30 or 40 years. I think 40 years ago. I can't remember which administration. It might have been the Reagan administration, that once they started to attack marijuana, the discoveries and solutions for rapes, burglaries and everything went way down. And everything became a focus on drugs.
Drug war. Yeah.
Yeah. Drug war. And then rapes and burglaries and everything went unsolved. There's a statistic on that.
The situation you have in Baltimore, and a couple other East Coast cities that I specifically know of is you have so many people in jail for various drug possession charges that violent criminals, there's no room for them. Once you get it clogged, because you arrest people on possession more often than you arrest them for violence, once you get the system clogged with all the drug possession charges, then they're starting to kick off. They'll kick violent offenders right back out on the street.
Yeah.
And there was a guy that got caught with a couple reefers on him he was driving back to Pennsylvania where he lived. He was working in Baltimore. This guy spent 6 weeks in central booking, which is considered a jail. Okay. And people in the West don't understand that a jail in the East is like a penitentiary in the West. Okay. If you talk to somebody that's been in a jail in the West, they're like, the central booking is nothing. No, that's where they kill everybody. You get killed in jails more often than you do in penitentiaries in the East, because that's where you're getting sorted out before you go into long-term holding. And the word's already inside by the time you get locked up, whether or not they think you're going to be a snitch and you've got to die. So you might have a guy on a minor drug possession charge from out of state who's getting beat up and brutalized by local violent criminals and drug users in central booking in Baltimore City. Yeah. In the meantime, guys that are actually killing people are getting let out.
Yeah, okay. and if you do that same crime in California, they let you outside to pick strawberries and give you.
It's completely true that, strangely enough, people who are illegal immigrants are released much more quickly for whatever crimes they commit. That's absolutely true. But the guy who just killed 4 people in a stabbing spree, which James will probably talk about that next time, he was released. We passed a few years ago something about, criminal justice reform, releasing people sooner than whatever. And he was released under that law from jail or I don't know where he was, and he went out on a stabbing spree and killed 4 people. But nobody cares about that because it wasn't a white guy with a gun. It was a Mexican with a knife, a machete. So
Machete violence, as far as I can tell, has tripled this year in this
wow.
country. And at a certain point, probably 15 to 20 years from now, machetes are going to be killing as many people as guns in this country.
I heard about two or 3 weeks ago that I heard something on the news that England is having a big
Oh
problem.
yeah, they have a big blade problem there. Yeah, and their cops go around confiscating scissors and kitchen knives, and they have this acid problem where people are dousing one another in caustic chemicals, and it's ridiculous. I mean, like, it's all about gun. You know, if it's a gun violence, people just jump up and down and cry, and but if it's anything else, it's just ignored.
Yeah, well, the guns are being used as a political tool.
All right.
One way or the other.
Yeah.
Guns have always been here.
Right now, gun is code for white man. If you're someone who enjoys guns, likes shooting, collects guns, is competent with a gun, that means you're a white man, and that means you're the enemy, basically.
Well, they're not categorizing pistol shootings as mass shootings.
Yeah. Can you believe that?
25, 40 mass shootings happen every week in the country, and most of them are urban pistol shootings. It's really easy to get into a crowd of people and pop a whole bunch of them with a pistol.
Right. Because it's concealable.
So, totally become political. But the whole, all the violence that I documented in the Baltimore area was all tied into the war on drugs. And it was just a way to accelerate violence.
Yeah.
All kinds. And one of the types of violence that accelerated was just cops attacking anybody. There's a dude across the street from me that I lived across the street from for 8 years. I saw him get beat up and arrested by cops 3 times. We're just walking down to Harford Road to get a hit of crack. He's a crackhead. And he'd smoke like 1 rock a day in his girlfriend's basement. And when he scraped his $10 together, he'd go for a walk. 3 times I see this guy get beat up by the cops who will drive by while a crowd of teenagers are trying to get my groceries away from me.
Yeah.
So like, all they've done is they've like greatly increased police violence on everybody. And then and then meanwhile, the cops have totally stepped aside so that people are now free to attack other people. And then when they do get caught, there's no room to keep them in jail. They don't even get to prison because you can house them in the jail. It's just great. It's a good make work thing. If you're talking about
that's exactly what it is. It's make work for cops, make work for prisons, for whatever. It's just simply a federal jobs program for investigators, for DEA, whoever it is. Yeah.
Bob Barker owns the company that you give all your money whenever there's somebody in jail, and you buy them phone time.
Oh.
Or you buy their books. Have you ever heard of like putting money on somebody's book so they can eat?
Yeah.
Through Bob Barker's company.
Nice.
Wow.
If you buy toilet paper in the prison, you're buying it from Bob Barker.
Wow. And
if you want to talk to your son that you love, okay, and you want to give him $25 so that you can make sure that he's still alive and he hasn't been hurt, you're paying Bob Barker.
Bob gets a piece of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So every time you watch Happy Gilmore and you think it's funny and have a good time, screw Bob Barker. Okay? That means that nobody you love has been in jail yet and you haven't given any money to him.
I've thought about it. Actually, you know what, James? John Paul Barber suggested that we send your books to prisons. And I haven't done that yet, but I've thought about sending a few copies of, just to the prison library here and there, but I haven't done it yet. But
oh, sure. Send the GQ Mugging Inquest. Okay. Now, would you mind describing how you were treated when you came under the gun of the police in that situation?
Oh, it was terrible.
Yeah, if you could just describe what that day was like.
I had a legal license to grow in Nevada, and I was doing it for some time. And I'll tell you this. I kept having women come up to my house and ask me about about my air conditioning and if they can look around the house or ask me if there was something wrong with my air conditioning. I said no a lot. Just said no, 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 no. Then all of a sudden I started getting women knocking on my door asking me to participate in the census, which I don't like to participate in the census. No, 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 no. So, this went on for a long time. I have cameras outside of my house. So I would know like when packages would arrive and when they wouldn't arrive. And if somebody would knock on my door, I didn't know them, I wouldn't answer the door. Anyway, this pattern went on for a while. And then, I'm just going to say, Mexicans were starting to move into the neighborhood. They were starting to buy the houses on the street where I live, which is fine. I don't care if they're Mexican or not. But you noticed if they were green, I would tell you, hey, green people are moving next to me. If it was a family of lesbians, I'd be like, look, a family of lesbians moved next to me. But the fact is, some Mexicans were moving into the neighborhood. That's fine. I haven't met him yet. So I'm looking at my cameras inside the house, and one of them is starting to get jittery. It's starting to get knocked around. And I thought that maybe I had parked too close to my neighbor's fence, and people don't like cameras. And if they're pointing at you, a lot of people like to knock them, you know what I mean, or cover them. So I thought maybe my neighbor was just covering my camera because he didn't want to be seen. So I opened up my garage door, and I see a lot of boots. And as the garage door was coming up, I was going to run out of the garage door and start bitching at my neighbor. But as the garage door came up to about knee high, there were more feet there were a lot of feet. And then as soon as, well, it was a SWAT team with German Shepherds.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, the SWAT, they were very aggressive towards me because I ran out of the garage thinking that my neighbor was mad at me. So they saw that as aggression towards them. So they didn't like that. I had five AR-15s pointed at me and 2 German Shepherds. And, this is what you get for legally growing. Now, the state said I was a legal grower, but the federal government says I'm not. So you get caught in this quagmire where they can do whatever they want to you. If you're nice, they can back off. If you're not, they can exercise their rights. It's like
they scream at you.
It was.
It's perfect anarcho-tyranny. Just here's
right,
the law, and we're gonna dangle it before you. Yep.
Right, and it was interesting because they wrecked my house. First of all, I came out through the garage door, but they felt a need to knock in my front door. So they knocked my front door off of its hinges. And they kept telling me too that, oh yeah, you're not going to go to jail. If you cooperate, well, you're going to be home tonight. And they lie to you. Now, let me just say this. I'm not a kneeler. I don't disrespect the police. I'm kind of in the middle here. I mean,
were they cussing and screaming at you?
I don't remember, to be honest with you. Okay. I will tell you that I would never kneel, but I also feel like, and I'll be honest with you, I'd like to hit one of them motherfuckers with a car. Okay? So, look, I want to respect the police. I know the job's hard. I would never hurt one, but I'd love to fucking hit one with a car. Okay? So I'm kind of like, I got this kind of thing going back and forth in my head where I really like you guys. You guys have a tough job. I really like you guys, but you guys fucking suck. So it's like a back and forth.
You can't, once, that's such a huge violation where they come into your home, destroy your home.
Yeah. They tell you, Lynn, we're tired of people like you wrecking people's house. You people come in here and you destroy people's house to grow marijuana. And then you know what your response is, Lynn? It's my house.
All right.
And they say, we didn't even know that. You have a federal agency, a local,
man.
you have Metro, you have the FBI there. None of them check that I own that house.
No.
Okay?
How did they,
They
what did
had
physically do with you?
They
like,
had
at the
a
point in
command.
time?
I said, what is this white truck you have in front of my house? I mean, it's as big as my house. It's almost the size of my house. It's perfectly clean. It's not a speck of dust on this, and it's a command center. And he informed me that, he usually has 2 command centers. So they only had 1 for me. And then they have a company come and they take all of your stuff out of your house, and the company's called H2O. You think that company is a water company, or that they're there to sell you something, but they're there to take away everything in your house. And then when H2O, and it's not even a local company, it's a company in Michigan, when they take all of your stuff, you have to pay H2O for taking your stuff away. So you get out of jail, you don't have any stuff. 6 weeks later, you get a bill for $400 from a company that took your stuff away. It's just better and better and better.
Okay. What did you described this to me. Well, I don't know if they had you cuffed or zip tied. Which one did they do? Did they cuff you?
Yeah, they cuffed. Yeah, they cuffed.
Okay.
I think
At one point, they put you on your knees outside, and they got some chairs.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah.
Describe it.
No, I was in handcuffs, but I was in the back of a police car. And the police officer says the same thing that they all say. We're just doing our job. If you guys would vote to legalize this, we wouldn't arrest you anymore. Okay, whatever. All right. I think, what was it? At the trial of the Germans, they said the same thing. It was just our job. Look, I held the door open for the ovens for the Jews. I didn't burn the Jews. I just held the door open. Okay. As soon as you guys changed the laws for the Jews, went burning them. But until then, I still got to round up the Jews. Okay? That's what the police are telling me. Look, Lynn, we're not going to arrest your little girls for selling pot until you vote for it not to do it.
All right.
Well, we're going to arrest them, okay? But you have to change the law. I'm still going to gather these Jews together and put them in an oven until you change the law. We're still going to get all of these black people together, and we're going to fuck their lives up, okay? Because a lot of the people that smoke pot are black, a lot of white people too, but they're rounding up the black people. So we'll stop arresting you black people as soon as you change it. We're just doing our job. Just like the Nazis that held open the doors for the oven.
Yeah.
It's a tough position to be in. I love the police. I don't love the police.
I feel similar, and if they did something like that to me, I would really not be as kind as you are being. But
Yeah.
And I'm really sorry, but I have to wrap it up here. But
Okay.
James, the next time you stop by with Rick, we'll tape again, okay?
Okay.
That's good. Good stuff.
All right. Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you, and thank your mom too if she's still there. Thank you, Punky.
Time for us to go. It's getting late and we've got shit to do in outer space. Mother Earth can wait. We will take the ones worth saving. Pack your bags, we are vacating now. Forever, forever. There's correspondent sadly said the universe is flat. He also mentioned that gravity is caused by our cavities and our reflection of time's not a receding hairline. It's all mass produced in the back of our mind. Let's face it, there's some things that we will never know, and I don't ever want to know. And so it goes. Let's fuck it up, let us run amok. Let's do the things that we want to do. We're animals after all. Hills out yonder, through the traffic